Hello everyone, I am Yaim once again to talk Australian Survivor 2017. Welcome back to the Survivor Sim podcast. I'm your host, Sander, and just for any new viewers, welcome. Nice to meet y'all. I'm Xander. I'm the creator of this podcast. Anyway, so welcome to the recap show where we talk about episode 11 for season 2 of Australian Survivor. So, you might be thinking, Xander, why are you in an hoodie? Xander, why do you have no headphones on today? Xander, why are you not? Where have you been for a month? To all those questions, I say, my life has been a train wreck. But that is a separate issue. Today, we're going to be talking about Survivor because obviously that's why we're here. So, let's talk about it. So, before we begin, we start this episode with the best recap promo from Jonathan Yapalia. It was accurate as hell. Even better, this episode was fun. Well, as fun as it can be when nobody goes home. We head to a summer camp after tribal council, where you get to confessional talking about Kent gaming last episode. And he shouldn't have gone up against Michelle, which is an interesting statement to me, at least in my opinion. What does this entail? Try to guess. Any guesses? No? Okay. Duke then says Odette is sour, which can you blame her? All her allies have been yelling. Like, I've been sour too, but all my friends got voted off one by one by one by one by one, and I couldn't do shit about it. Like, understandable, but this is a social game, so obviously she needs to be careful about how she is perceived on the island. We continue on, and Odette gets a confessional talking about how now that Ken is gone, she feels like crying because the only other person who she felt understood her is gone. Which sucks for her, but entertainment for us. I mean, come on, guys. But hey, we get to see people fight when they're on the bottom, so that's gonna be fun. Which, yeah, I mean, it's satisfying for us as the audience to get to watch. Or at least I love the idea of a revenge arc, only if it benefits your game, though, because we aren't doing some of those. I'm getting revenge, even though it doesn't really make sense for my game. No, I'm only promoting revenge if it benefits your game and makes logical sense to you. There's a time and a place if it's supposed to happen. Regardless, we move on. we continue on. And I'm looking at you, future contestants, outside of myself, for that main concern. My only concern gameplay-wise is that Asuna isn't trying to make Odette feel included, at least from the edit's perspective. Like, by all means, if you're gonna vote her off, awesome, throw a challenge, whatever, right? But don't isolate her. We do get a funny scene of Odette saying stuff, and her tribe is just like, we're just trying to get a fire started, babe. I could sit here and talk about how bad Babe is, but it's fine. Yeah, you'll get the point. It's pretty bad. That's pretty face palming moment. I will say this: in all of Survivor, my entire life, I've never heard so many people say "babe" and make it sound so fake. Isn't that what grandmas say or something, or people who say it to young children? Come here, babe, or they say it to their partners. What's up, babe? Okay, cool. We continue on, and mainly Sarah is the one saying it, and I just chuckle to myself. But anyways, Michelle gets a confessional talking about picking off that alliance one by one. Which, if you don't know what alliance I'm referencing, I'm talking about the one with Odette, Jackie, Ken, Henry, that sort of crew. That alliance is obviously getting picked off. because Henry's on the other tribe, Jackie got voted off, Kent's gone, and Odette is on the bottom and the next to go because Sarah flipped on them. I also want to just point out, these aren't the current tribes, so if anyone in the near future would like me to set it up where it is the current tribes, I can do that, even though it is more effort on my end. But that's for another day, not an issue. I can solve it. So we continue on, and yeah, damn. Michelle gets I already said that, damn. And how Michelle basically says how that's going to be the next target, which, yeah, I know, right? I mean, but for the casuals who don't remember Odette, they're like, oh no, we got to tell them who she is. Since they aren't super fans and aren't remembering what we've seen in the show so far, all of a sudden we skip to the daylight on a summer, because before that scene was like night shit. Now we get day stuff, and it's day 25. Pretty decent milestone, if I do say so myself. Like, pretty it, guys. We are then given a scene of Yuke and Jericho hugging, as Yuke catches a second shark, and the tribe celebrates, because they're starving on a fucking island. They need protein, so good for them, even though there's nothing really happening that's interesting on this tribe, because otherwise they would show it in the episode. So the fact that they're showing us this scene clearly says a lot. I know they're trying to give a story, but come on, guys, give us more gameplay dynamics. Give us, I don't know, give us something. You go to confessional talking about catching 2 sharks. Pretty boring, generic crap. I mean, cool, it's cool you caught a shark, but target, broski. I would not want to catch that shark. Put a target on my back. Jericho then gets to confessional talking about this guy, how this guy can do anything, and how he envies the guy. Yeah, I love the jealousy, but the frenemyship, beautiful. Hope we get that going forward. Do we? I've seen the season. I'm not going to say yes or no, but just something to point out. for any future rivalries out there that I cover on this podcast, thank you. We continue on, and Tara then says to her trimate, "Can I just say it's bigger than Yoki's?" And everyone laughs. You jokes about Yoki's banning him and and ask him, how'd you do it, brother? Which is pretty funny. All you need to know is everyone is saying Yuke as a provider. Michelle calls Yuke a legend, which is awesome. Imagine being Yuke, watching this season back, hearing that one of your classmates calls you a legend. What a flex. That's bragging rights for you, because you didn't notice people going into the season, so hell yeah. We then head back to Summertown Beach, and Henry and Yoki both get confessionals talking about how they're hungry, which, they're on Survivor. You would fucking hope so. Sorry if I act very morbid some of the time when I talk, guys. This is just my door. Oh, wow. That was not supposed to happen. This is my very much okay, yeah, that was fucking gonna happen, obviously. What did you expect? Alright, we're gonna have to worry about some technical difficulties if that keeps happening, but anyways, we are back. Yeah, we're back. So guys, you got problems. I'll figure it out for the next stream. So, we continue on, and wow. I've lost my notes. Give me a second. We then head back to Summertown Beach. Henry and Yoki both get confessional about hungry and have no fire, and there's nothing to do on the island. Which, yeah, you guys are playing Survivor. What did you expect, to have your cell phone out there? Come on, guys. You're gonna get bored. And then once again, oh yeah, and then Henry specifically is talking about, well, not Henry, more like Yoki specifically. He gets the confessional talking about how his like mental capacity is just wrecked. Like his tribe is just wrecked mentally. They're over it. They're over not eating. They're over no sleeping. They're over all of the like elements in life. Which, like, understandable. I wouldn't want to be cold at night either without a fire. That sounds awful. But also, I would probably try to learn how to make fire before going out there if I was to play Survivor, which Australian Survivor, Endemol Shine Australia, please trust me. Anyways, so, yeah, I mean, once again, I don't really see the point in watching people suffer for entertainment, but it's Survivor, so they know what they signed up for. Yoki is hungry, really. Tessa gets a spark and tells Yoki, you should probably do this, implying he does most of the physical work. Aaron, or also known as his nickname, AK, on the show, gets a confessional talking about how he wants to piss Yoki off. So he snaps at him so he can use it to get his yards to stay solid and not want to move forward with him. As we've seen before, AK and Yoki have been enemies for a while since Yoki tried to vote out AK. And AK blindsided Yoki's number one ally in Amy earlier in the season. Yoki is annoyed he can't slap AK for degrading him, which understandable, but in a game like Survivor, social game matters, and you can't do that. So Yoki walks away, takes some time, and then I think we can presume that he goes back at trying to get a fire for his tribe, but we didn't see anything else after that. We then head back to Asana when Jericho gets another confessional talking about how people think he's helpless and that works to his advantage. We then hear him talk about the idol cue Henry gave him at the last challenge. Jericho says he has no loyalty to Henry and gets annoyed he can't find the idol because he goes to the tree, and obviously we know, as the audience, Henry has the idol. But Jericho does not. It's like, where's the idol? I can't find the idol because Henry has it, broski. Does Jericho find out? I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, I mean, pretty funny content, honestly. Good gameplay wise. I mean, it didn't really help Henry. Like, as I said, Jericho literally spoke in confessional saying he doesn't trust Henry like, at all, but he'll take it. So, like, both of these guys think they're like pretending to be tight, but they're not, which is awesome. Love it. I love when we have that. It makes the game more interesting as opposed to like a solid group of people. Even though strategically you want to have a solid alliance of people you can trust. And I'm a strong supporter and a strong advocate for like get a trio together, get a duo together, get people and lock them in because if you can find one or two people you can tell most shit to for the majority of the game, that's everything, you know. Information is power, and getting more than one person's perspective is key. It's everything, you know. It could be the difference between you staying a vote or going home based on like knowing how to play your idol or who to play your idol on, or who knows what's out there, right? Different shit happens, but anyways, we continue on, and like then Henry, oh my god, we go back to Summertail, like to Summertail's tribe, where Henry gets a confessional talking about misleading Jericho with the idol cue and how he won't find it because the idol is actually in his bag. I mean, it's funny. As I said before, like it's one of those things where it's like, entertainment-wise, thank you, but also I don't understand. like, genuinely, I'm just like, okay, I guess we could do that. But yeah, it does seem a bit unnecessary. Henry wants Jericho to think he's still a Song of True. Well, a Song of Strong, but he says a Song of True in confessional. And how Jericho is in his pocket. But as we know, Jericho doesn't care about Henry, as I said before, so that's a fun dynamic. Okay, gets another confessional talking about her kid and how she doesn't want to give up and how she's going to fight to stay in the game, which, yes, please don't give up. I would be pissed. I would be livid if I saw someone give up, okay? This is my childhood dream. I'm gonna get on the show one day, and if I fucking get first boot, I'm gonna fucking give it my all. And I expect every single person out there to do the same. Because there are millions of people, okay, maybe not millions, there are thousands of people who would kill to be in your position. So make the most of that experience. We continue on. Sorry, guys, if I'm very passionate. As you can tell, this is my passion. So I'm very much like hard. Anyways, we continue on. And yeah, no, I already said that, but anyways. I mean, this is the great part about me being Yive. Like, I could fuck up, and you guys are just gonna have to deal with it because I'm Yive. Hey, I mean, I might edit it out later, but continue on. And Luke and Odette walk up to the water well and sees a bunch of names and a note. They bring it back to the other tribe. Well, really to their, like, the other tribe mates. Then the note is read, and spoilers, the producers gave them something family related. What a gift from home. Their families know they cherish their most notable moments, or like valuable items. So they each basically get something from home to remind them why they're out there and why they should keep fighting, which, like, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, honestly, if you're, like, I feel like it's pretty obvious why you're fucking fighting. Like, I wouldn't have to get a note from my family to say keep going. Like, we do a loved one visit normally in the season. Like, if they get far enough, then you can give them some family related. Like, I don't really find watching people cry that entertaining. Like, that isn't something that I'm like, yeah, I want to see more of that. Like, unless it's someone's dreams being crushed, which in that case, give it to me. I would love to see someone bawling their eyes out as their torch gets snuffed because they care so much. That's what I want to see. But that's like some biased shit. Anyways, we continue on. Well, you could say whatever I say on this podcast is biased, but it's my podcast, so we continue on, and like, wow, why the fuck did they open it before, like, reading it? I literally, like, why did they go to the tribe with the note? Like, bro, I would have grabbed those family items and thrown all of theirs away and only kept mine and people I wanted to keep saying in the game. Maybe that's mental torture. Maybe I shouldn't promote that for anyone watching this. Me basically saying, yeah, you should make other people's lives harder on the island, which I'm not talking like a Russell Hand sort of strategy. I'm more so thinking about it like, if they're not thinking about that, that's great. But I understand you also. There are moments in these certain, like, I don't want to say events, summits, meeting. I don't know. What do you want to call it? Tribal bonding activities. Yeah, we think it's like camping, right? It's like, here's a little tribe bonding activity. We're gonna go fucking open a letter that says, "Dear Sarah, from Mum, we are so proud of you, blah, 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 whatever, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. You guys get the point. But yeah, I mean, people can bond with that, so, or use it as strategy to try and manipulate other people emotionally, which you could do. That'd be fun. So we continue on, and most notable moments, Jericho gets a teddy bear fire. I want that teddy bear. Adidas gets a t-shirt with ice creams all over it. If someone can tell me what that t-shirt brand is, I would love to buy it. I might even DM Anais and be like, hey, what t-shirt was that? Can I get that? Because, like, I don't think Googling ice cream shirt is going to pop up with what I want. But I don't know. Well, I'll let you guys know in the next time. Maybe I'll have a fucking t-shirt on. Probably not, but we'll give it a crack. After we see Asana's content, we then are shown Salvatier's crying session. I say crying session, but really it's all of them bonding, missing their friends and family, which, yeah, I mean, I would be at probably, I mean, yeah. Or at least I'd be pretending to soak it up, to bond with people, to make people not feel like I'm waiting to kill them. But anyways. Ben gets a Thomas the Tank Engine, and Loki gets a shirt. He gets a sports shirt, and I was like, "That's your most valuable item, a sports shirt." Unless it's from your dad growing up before he died, and he played in AFL or something. I really question. Does Loki not have any valuable? That sounds so dickish, but that's a genuine question. I don't. It's really interesting to see what other people value outside of Survivor or pretend to value. It would have been fun if someone had sent an item and pretend it was really valuable, and then it wasn't valuable, and they were pretending to act emotional about it. That would have been funny. But I don't know. Maybe there's always me running these hypotheticals in my head of what if this happened? What if this happened? What if they did this? Which, yeah, I couldn't tell you. We continue on, and my notes have seemed to have disappeared. Henry then tells us how his mum passed only a few weeks before he was thrown out, which is rough. Thrown out to play Survivor. But looking back, I can see the emotional effects it had on him, rewatching this season, which at the time I was, 14. No, I would have been 12 or something. 13, somewhere. No, I would have been 12 or 13 around there. And I would have not. I think I would have been 13. I wouldn't have not fully understood what I was watching. And someone who's also had his biological mother pass away. It is one of those things where it's oh, that is sad. Even if you don't have a close relationship to that person, it's oh, no, that's a bummer, dude. That I can't even imagine caring about someone growing up with someone and them just not being there right before you get out there. That is hard. And to keep that by himself and not tell anyone about it, that's full respect for him. That makes me respect Henry a whole lot more. And it also gives me a bit of a smile on my face that he didn't get in there and just break down completely, that he's actually playing. He actually wants to win. He has this drive and motivation, and I think it's really inspiring. I say it's very inspiring in my sarcastic voice, but that's just because I go on long tangents like this one, where I'm this and this and this and this and this. But you guys get the point. So, I also do want to say, I do think Henry's mother passing away may or may not have impacted Henry's wanting to align with Jackie, or at least in my head. That would make logical sense because Jackie is a similar age to his mother, probably reminds him of her, probably makes him be oh, Jackie is the type of woman my mother was. They have similar characteristics. I can open up to her. Obviously, we didn't see a scene where he told her about that because he kept it to himself, but it is something that I do want to know. As well as them like finding the idol together, even though Jackie's gone now, but just something to point out. Yoki, if you're watching this, bro, let me tell you, that shirt and that buff that you had on together, they didn't match. Like, there was a scene when Yoki was like this or whatever, and it was like, dude, those items do not match. So, there's no easy way to say this, but like, they don't match. And I'm sorry that I'm that dickhead who has to say that, but they don't. Just something I had in my notes. I don't know why. Sometimes I write stuff in my notes and I think to myself, like, what is this? Why is this in my notes? But it's something that I personally find enjoyment in. Even though they can be a pain in the ass sometimes, which, it happens, but it's fine. We're good. We're getting more used to it, so it'll be easier going forward. And we're also we're like we're a bit over 1/3 of the way through the season as well, so that doesn't hurt. We continue on, and today's challenge, one at a time, 3 members of their tribe will leap off a platform, grab a key, and swim it back to shore. Once they have all 3 keys, they will unlock puzzle pieces. They will use it to build a block puzzle. Last 2 trimates will use sandbags to knock down the puzzle. First, knock the puzzle over. First tribe to knock the puzzle over off the table wins and build it up again. But today is different. No immunity. Instead, the winning tribe goes to tribal for them to vote for a chance to win the ultimate reward. Jared sits out the new Summer Tower, so the tribes are even. Before we talk about the results, I think this twist is a decent way, a really good way to do a non-elimination as opposed to voting someone out and then giving them a second chance, cough, cough, what has already happened in this season. And then intense music is playing despite it not being, for immunity, so the hype goes down, in my opinion. At least that's how I view it. I also don't like that this twist helps the majority as it's a vote to win power. If I'm in the minority, even if my tribe goes to tribal, I'm never going to get voted for the chance to get the ultimate reward, right? Whether it's food, that sucks. Like, you're fucking suffering on an island. Whether it's you getting an idol, silver, whatever advantage, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So if I was really anyone on the bottom, like Yoki, Ben, Henry, Odette, which seems to kind of be the 4 people who are on the bottom currently, at least from the episode's perspective, I'd be pissed. Rightfully so. I'd be like, what the fuck, man? Like, even if I put my ass in to try to win this, I can't win it. So in a way, I feel like this twist kind of backfires as you're helping the majority stay intact as opposed to forming cracks. On top of that, your whole tribe wins, but only one of you gets anything. Doesn't sound like a fair trade to me. Spoiler, it's power in the game, not food. If I heard the ultimate reward, I'd be thinking it's food, like if I was out there. So I think it's kind of misleading to the contestants. Jonathan then screams, Jonathan wins and then pauses and says challenge. That is so funny. Like, they didn't even edit it out. They literally were like, okay, yeah, Jonathan, you're going to have to retake that 5 times so you say it correctly. Because he's so used to, because Jonathan's so used to saying, this person or this tribe wins immunity. They are safe until the final, whatever. Or they will not be the whatever person voted off survivor. Like, awesome, hilarious. We continue on, and wow. Before it's only one tribe winning something, but only one person gets anything. But now there's a chance nobody wins anything. I need to talk to the producers. I want to understand what's happening here. Because I don't hate the twist, but there's death, better ways to make it more fair for everyone. We then head to Summertown Camp, where Yoki is getting pissed. He can't make a fire, and they put intense music on, and it's like, what intense music? I don't care whether they eat it or not. I don't actually see them struggling, do I? All I ever see is them saying, "Oh, I'm hungry," or a little bit of blood on their hands. Like, we don't, like, that's not interesting. Like, that's not good TV. That's not what we come here for. Or at least that's not what I come here for. Like, even if I was a casual, I'd be like, okay, cool, he can't make a fire. I mean, it's kind of funny, but also, like, it's kind of fucked up that you're making fun of him. Or making fun of people who, like, are struggling out there, you know? Like, especially because this is what I want to do in the future. I want to be a future survivor. I'm going to be a future survivor. Mark my words, today, on the 26th of September 2024, I'm going to win Survivor. And I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but we're going to give it a fucking crack, right? Like Sue from season 1 says, we're going to give it a big hot crack. Yeah, I wanted to write the season 1 thing, that I didn't write notes about that. I just want to say, I just really like saying that. It's a better phrase than saying this is the pointy end of the game. That's for sure. We continue on, and you're like, wow. Oh my god. We then head to Summertown Camp, where Yoki is getting paid. Yeah, I already said that. Sorry, guys. I fucking can't read. Anyways. AK wants the power, he says in the confessional. Yeah, everyone wants power. Henry is just trying to guess the power. Tessa, AK, Sharon, the three of them we are shown a scene of the three of them talking about if they're gonna vote for someone, who they would vote for. Honestly, pointless. You can discuss it at Tribal. What's the point in not discussing it at Tribal? Your Alliance of 5 is already public anyways, so there's no point trying to hide it. I get hiding relationships, but there's no way Yoki didn't say they all voted together to Henry and Ben, and that he's on the bottom and desperate. He clearly did. Like, that's what a logical player would do. If anything, and we also saw part of that in the episode where Yoki was like, I think it was last episode where Yoki was like, just so you know, like, they all voted together. So I think it's pretty public knowledge. Like, they can't just get there, and Yoki's not just going to be like, no, I'm not going to tell you guys anything about our tribe. No, he obviously said, yeah, they've been voting together, blah, blah, whatever, right? AK's running the show, whatever. And we even saw that. So we continue on, and if anything, pretend to have an open forum and agree on someone to go for the tribe. For tribe unity, even though it shouldn't really matter which of you 5 go, as long as someone in the minority doesn't get it. If you don't know what I'm talking about the 5-person alliance consisted of AK, Tessa, Ziggy, Jared, and Peter, AK, Nicola, and Aaron, for people who don't know who AK and Ziggy are. If that's the 5 you want to work with going forward, like, if I'm in the majority and this is the 5 I want to work with going forward, you already have the votes to decide who you want to go. It doesn't matter what the rest of the tribe wants if it is a vote. Which they didn't know if it was or not, but they tried to prepare pretty tribal what was going to happen, which is understandable, but I would have just had an open forum. I mean, at least pretend like it's a tribe decision, you know, as opposed to just being like, no, you're not going Yoki, you're not going Henry, you're not going Ben. Because you don't want the minority to get more power in the game if you're planning on voting them off, obviously, like, the you. And I also say all the time, like, I feel like the pre-merge is especially building up your building up your war. Well, the war is the merge, right? The merge vote is the war. And it's like, you want to make sure you have majority when you get to merge. And you don't want to vote off a single ally if you don't have to, until all your enemies are gone. That's ideal scenario. Obviously, it depends on the situation, blah, blah, whatever. Doesn't matter. You guys get the point. What I'm basically saying is, yeah, if I'm one of the five, I'd be like, yeah, no. One of us five are going to go. It doesn't matter who goes because the way. But that's also putting a lot of trust in your answer. It really depends how solid your answer is at the same time. But anyways. Wow. I am mindfucked. I'm actually mindfucked because Yogi gets a confession saying how if he is voted specifically, it could really help him if there is a vote. Yogi, I almost laughed, bro. I almost no. I think I did laugh at this saying because Yoki is the last person I'd send for a few reasons. If I was any of the five, like if I was Tessa, AK, Peter, Jared, or Ziggy, I would not. He would be the last person for a few reasons. First reason, he's the fire maker. If the fire goes out, he can't make it. Then there'd be cold at night. Second reason, he's the provider. If he gets all the food, why would I want him gone unless I'm voting him out? Third reason, he's on the bottom, so I wouldn't want him to get a chance for power. These are three things, the five of, as I said, Aaron, Tessa, Ziggy, Jared, well, really Nicola, not Ziggy, her real name's Nicola, but on the line, Nicola, Ziggy, Peter, and Jared should think about, and Tessa, if I didn't say her name, I don't know if I did or not, should think about, because like these are things that you like, they should think about realistically. Rightfully so, AK instantly catches on to Yoki's strategy of picking him off. Well, not picking him off, of picking him to go to the ultimate reward to compete or to find or whatever. Because he's the strongest, which, yeah, no, Yoki. That isn't a compelling pitch. Like, in Survivor, if someone says, yeah, the strongest, send them. Like, that's not a pitch. Like, then no one's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna send Yoki to the ultimate reward because he's the strongest. Like, bro, you could still use anyways. They said it's a chance, not if you beat the other tribe, you get this, or if you do this task, you get this. It's a chance against something, which should really set the alarm bells to the contestants thinking, okay, it really isn't food, because why would they say it's a chance of getting food as opposed to just giving you food? Like, that's not interesting TV, as I've said before. Watching people starve is great, but, like, all you're gonna hear is, I'm hungry, I want a burger, I want sushi, and I actually do want those things right now. I'm hungry. Anyway, me sharing my personal problems, the usual. So we continue on, and you're like, yeah, I don't know. I think realistically, that picture's never going to work, but I get what Yoki was trying to do. But honestly, Yoki was kind of screwed right away with the way this twist was designed. Jared wants to hide his relationship with AK, or at least just telling AK, hey, I'd rather Ziggy get voted to go do the ultimate reward. Since we're in a strong three, putting AK in a spot where he has to say, yeah, I do, Jared. Jared then asked AK, how much do you trust Tessa? He sits there and then says, well, he doesn't sit there. He stands there and he's basically like, he says he almost trusts Tessa as much as he trusts him and Jared. We go to Tribal and Yoki does a pretty bad job at campaigning for himself, which, to be fair, as I said before, he never had a chance. So, I mean, I can't fault him for trying, at least. I'd be more annoyed if he didn't try to get power in the game. Due to being in the minority, obviously, the majority isn't going to vote for you to get possible power in the game. A Tribal, pretty generic fake pick. Everyone is saying an all-rounder should go for the tribe, but in reality, the five just voted for City to go because they trust her. At least the five did. So basically, everyone minus Henry, Ben, and Yoki. Even though if I really had to look at the votes were probably a bit more split than that. But it really doesn't matter what the votes were. It wasn't like, oh wow, I feel betrayed. This person didn't vote for me. Like, the votes for this round are completely irrelevant. So if you're worried, oh no, what if it influences like future game change? It doesn't. It doesn't influence that. So don't worry about it. This is great. Anyway. So, Ziggy grabs their torch because she got the majority and goes to the mangoes. What is the mangoes? I don't know. I probably should have Googled that before asking such a stupid question, but I don't care. The mangoes, I'm assuming, is just like the jungle, right? Yeah, that's basically what we saw at the end of the episode. So yeah, if you're asking me what a mangoes is, ask someone else. I am not. Like, when I say I am a Survivor super fan, I am not a super fan when it comes to knowing like what fucking what a mango is. Like, I don't under like I didn't do geography growing up. Sorry guys. Anyways, so we continue on and like. Yeah, Ziggy grabs the torch, goes to the mangroves to find, as she reads, finds out she has the chance to win a super idol, aka the ultimate reward. It isn't a super idol, but we'll get into that in a moment. She finds it. Imagine if she didn't find it. That would be hilarious. She gets no sleep all night just to be isolated and wet and then doesn't even get a reward because she had to walk in the water to get like the ultimate reward. I almost said super idol, but it isn't a super idol. And Swatch Grand Survivor Cole was a super idol, but it works a little bit differently. So we're just gonna call it the ultimate reward advantage, a base, or just the ultimate reward. Yeah, no, we'll stick the ultimate reward advantage. So we continue on, and yeah, I just couldn't even imagine not even trying, like failing to get that because she has like all night to get it. That would have been awful. You're starving, you're cold, you're tired, you're wet. You're just like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even get this, and everyone on my tribe's gonna think I got something horrible. Puts a target on her back, whatever else. I mean, that's what happens when you're popular, guys. Yeah, you want to be popular, but you don't want to be too popular, or at least not publicly. But to be fair to Ziggy, she didn't design this twist, so it's not her fault for being liked. If anything, it's good that she's liked. And I suggest rather being too liked over not being liked at all. You know, I'd rather everyone be like, "Oh, I'm comfortable with Ziggy going," as opposed to someone else going, you know, which is why I don't think people voted for AK, because I don't think AK could have rallied the votes because AK's previous actions in the game. But that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, who knows, right? Like, I think that's why Jared wanted Ziggy to go, because he trusts Ziggy more than AK. But obviously, that's just hypothetical. I'd have to talk to these players, obviously, years after the fact, because this was filmed back in 2017. I'm like, hey, is this true or is this just something I put in my head that logically makes sense? Or is it this? Or is it this? I don't know. I could sit here and rant with. I really do want to do interviews with Australian Survivor contestants, but we'll get there. I don't know when, but we will. We continue on, and damn. Now, before we even end this live, let's talk about what Ziggy should do to get the least blowback for when she gets out, okay, gets back to camp, has this advantage. Realistically, everyone in the game will find out she was chosen for the ultimate reward. And therefore, she might as well tell the truth in some capacity. I think trying to force the lie is never going to help you. Like, people are always going to assume you're lying, so it needs to be some sort of truth, because then obviously that's yes, you're lying about. Therefore, yes, they can try and like fact check you or like grill you or like whatever else, right? Because once you tell your story, you have to stick with it. Otherwise, you're a liar. and your word is everything in Survivor. So you don't want to burn bridges if you don't have to. We continue on, and the chances of it ever working are slim to none. Why? Because everyone assumes. Yeah, I already said that. I think if Ziggy's plans to genuinely move forward with her 5 of herself, aka Jared, Peter, and Tessa, she should just tell them the truth. And that's for 2 reasons. First of all, it builds trust and makes her alliance more solid. We want to have a see the fun alliance going into merge. You just do. Or tribe swap, as we saw in the promo this episode, at the end of this episode. It's a tribe swap. You want to have a solid group going forward. You want to guarantee a bit. Yep, we are solid. We're not just saying we're solid because we've only one person out. We are actually a group going forward. But second, the more important reason, you don't want to burn bridges later down the line if it gets out. You have this because it's the ultimate reward. Obviously, you're going to play, or she's going to want to play this, to use this advantage to her disposal, right? To benefit her game, because obviously every vote realistically isn't going to go your way exactly the way you want it to go. Realistically, someone, whether it's you or an ally, is going to get targeted at some point. And you need to be able to try to protect that, or stop that, or stop someone else from using an idol, or whatever the situation is. I think if, well, no, I don't know. This is the fun part of the lives where I'm actually thinking about what I'm saying. I'm like, does this make logical sense? Normally, I would just cut this crap out, but I'm not going to cut it out because I think this is actually interesting what I'm talking about. She's going to play it. As I said, she's going to play it, obviously, to ensure either a vote goes her way or raise the chances of getting what she wants. If anything, as ballsy as it is, since it seems like Nicola, aka Ziggy, doesn't want us all to know about this, that's what she said in the promo, the next episode, I'd even consider just telling the tribe there's a caveat to it. Like, maybe she can hint she had something or got something but refused to tell them what it is. Like, maybe she can try and pretend that production won't let her say what it is. Otherwise, it gets taken away from her. Like, there's definitely things that she can do. That she can be like, if I'm lying, I'm going to be doing this. But if I found something, I'll let you know. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely ways that she can hint at it without explicitly saying, I have this advantage, this is what it does, because then you're giving away all your power, which is awful. You don't want to do that. And more importantly, which I will get into this reason, which I think is a better reason why she should tell her tribe the truth in some capacity, is because, specifically, and obviously I could just think she's lying, right? But realistically, if she's telling the truth in some capacity, I think oh yeah, I was gonna say, guys, sorry, I had a mind break. I was thinking and I zoned out. Blackmail is an awesome skill in Survivor. Most people are going to not want to vote you if they know you have a random advantage in the game. These other ideas I would at least consider. Going to this isn't about getting power. It's about making sure the people in the minority or the people you want to vote off, you can vote them off, you know, because they don't have an advantage, they don't have an idol, they don't have things that you do have. It's not about, oh, Ziggy's going to have a target on her back. It's about, okay, I know I have this and that these other people don't have this, so I can use this against them. Yeah, at some point, ideally. Which, at least is my mindset. So if I was Ziggy, I wouldn't be like, oh no, I'm the most popular, I have a target on my back. Like, no, like, this is a good thing. Like, there's definitely instances where, like, you have your, like, superlatives where it's like, most likely to win Survivor. Obviously, that's fucking worse, right? If you're at Final 8 and they're doing that. But that's completely different from this specific thing. So, we continue on, and yeah, as I said before, Blackmail is an awesome skill in Survivor, and if she's hinting, it could really help her. I also think that if they know she has a random advantage, her alliance and her need to figure out who are the numbers going into merge. I've always said pre-merge is getting with the majority, as I said before, wrote that before. This is me skimming past my notes, just making sure I didn't miss anything important, so you guys get the full Xander note stuff. Anyways, I do think that she could lie about what. Well, no, yeah, she could. Yeah, if she goes and saying she got something, but she doesn't specifically say like, "This is my advantage." Like she hints that she got something, but she said, like she tries to make it where production won't let her say it. Like if she pretends like it is like that, then or it gets that taken away, as I said before, that'd be really good because then in that case, she can be like, okay, if I'm ever a target, they know I have something that I can use. So they're not going to throw my name out. They're less likely to vote her going into a tribal council, which is great. I think if you can bluff your way out of being a target, I think that's awesome, and I think she should definitely do that. Because obviously, why would you want your name out there? Like that's Survival 101. No, frankly, like, well, Survival 101 is really not like telling someone you have an idol, but like or playing too hard. But I could make a list. I should probably make a list of what I think the Survival 101s are, because I think David Pinberg made a list where he wrote about like the 7 or 5 things you should do in Survivor, like must do's. I think I might want to check that list out and make my own version because maybe I'll be able to give some more insight. So we'll continue on. And like, yeah, as I've said before, pretty much is getting numbers getting the majority. Ideally, positioning wise, make it so your people stay, not the other way around, but you get it, same thing. Overall, this twist is overpowered, but next episode is a tribe swap. So, as we saw in the promo, so excited to break that down next episode. P.S. This is not a super idol. That was in my notes. At the very end, just as I was about to end the stream, I saw my last note that said, P.S. This is not a super idol. The ultimate reward in Australian Survivor is not a super idol. They said, in quote, congratulations, this is a super idol. This isn't a super idol, alright? This is a separate thing. A super idol is an idol that you can play after tribal council, that when the votes are read, right? That is a super idol. Or, well, it is that. And normally, I mean, it depends on the situation. But from what I've seen, it's where you have 2 idols, you combine them into one. That's the super idol that you can play after the votes are read in most situations. That is what a super idol is. So let's say I get the majority of the votes and I don't play an idol. If me and someone else gives me my half of the idol, their half of the idol, or gives me a second idol, I can play that and then I am safe because I played the super idol. So even if I have the majority of the votes, it does, and I didn't play anything, it doesn't matter. I'm still safe. And the other person with the next highest votes goes home, which is overpowered. And I could sit here and rant about how overpowered this twist is and how it shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing. So we're just gonna accept that. However, like the season's being filmed, it was filmed like years ago at this point. Like it's fine. It's not that. It was like 8 years ago at this point, 7, something like that. So, but it's entertaining for sure. I think, yeah, realistically, this isn't a super idol. Like, what it is an idol nullifier that can cancel out an idol but it's not like David vs. Goliath, where it's like, if any of these idols can be played, like, okay. It's not like an idol nullifier exactly, where it's like in the US version, where like, you can play it and it cancels out what happens. Like, it cancels if you play it against the right person and put it in the urn, it works, and then that person can't play it. What I should have mentioned was Survivor Wrong with Michelle, with the Scott round with Scott, Jason, Tyler, them. I should have mentioned that, but I didn't want to spoil any survivors. But yeah, basically, I think realistically, yeah, I don't know if I was. It's not one of those things where you can play against someone and be like, okay, this person cannot have the idol, or their idol was cancelled because I played it against the right person. It is a guarantee if you play against someone. Basically, if someone stands up, plays an idol, Ziggy can stand up and be like, not idol nulled, by that person can still go home, which that's horrible. That's awful. It's already so hard to find an idol in most situations, so we'll see if that impacts anyone. I don't know. We'll find out. But it's definitely something that, like, yeah, I hope they don't bring back anytime soon. I just think it breaks the game a bit. But yeah, not a super idol, and then the second half of the super idol is just a normal idol that Ziggy can play on anyone. So yeah, not a super idol. I really wish that it wasn't. And I just want to also point out what I was going to say with Survivor Karong. With Survivor Karong, two people played idols after they agreed to play idols after the votes were read, but one of them did not give the idol over, and therefore someone got voted out because of it. However, I do think that had he actually given the idol to the other person, then he or whoever the person was, then obviously would have been safe, and this other person with the next highest vote should have gone home. Which, yeah, I mean, I could sit here and talk hypotheticals all day long, but it's really one of those things where it's like, I know deep down that this twist is like OP as, and I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I think Australian Survivor is nowadays getting better at like getting away from like overpowered twists. Like the most recent season that we saw, there was a skill vote situation. Well, there was like there was like a no vote situation where a few people couldn't vote. Not a fan of that. I really hope that doesn't happen in the season. I haven't watched this season like ages, so it might have happened and I might have forgotten about it. But I'm definitely remembering stuff that I didn't know or forgot about from my rewatch. So that's always fun. But thank you all for watching. And till next time, peace out. And when I say next time, it'll probably be like tomorrow or the next day. So I will be posting more content more regularly. I've just had a really busy month. But thank you for watching. Peace out, guys.